Tay-K's trial takes a brutal turn as his ex-girlfriend testifies against him.
What did you observe, Taylor, from the front passenger seat?
He shot up.
Did he exit the vehicle, or did he roll the window down? How did he shoot?
Yeah, he opened the door and leaned out. Jalen applauded him and gave him a high five. They high-fived each other, and Jalen said he caught your first body.
Why is Tay-K back in court? Because the state of Texas is trying to lock him up for life, again. And this time, it's for another murder. This whole case goes back to April 23rd, 2017, when a 23-year-old San Antonio photographer named Mark Saldivar ended up dead outside a Chick-fil-A. And what's wild is, of all the people testifying against him in this second capital murder case, the one dropping the heaviest bombs is his ex-girlfriend. Tay-K needed someone to lure Saldivar in, and that's where Reyes came in. She was told to find a photographer through Instagram, so she hit up Saldivar. He agreed to do a shoot for cheap, but once he got in the car, everything went sideways.
On the way to North Star Mall, what happened?
We hit the light at McCullough, and Tamar took out his gun and pointed it at Mark and asked for his bag. Mark refused to give him the bag, so they all started hitting him. And Tamar was hitting him with the gun, and the whole time I didn't look back, but when I did, I saw his face. And I started telling them to let him go, and I just kept screaming, let him go.
It gets worse.
Opened the door and started pushing him out. And he was fighting to get back in the car. So he went around the car and he jumped on the hood. And the light turned green.
Okay, and what was Taylor saying when he had the gun pointed at Mark?
To give him his bag.
So when you were in the Chick-fil-A parking lot and Mark was on the hood of the vehicle, who was sitting in the front passenger seat of the vehicle at that time?
Tamar.
This is when he pulled the trigger.
What did you observe, Taylor, from the front passenger seat?
He shot up.
How did he exit the vehicle, or did he roll the window down? How did he shoot?
Yeah, he opened the door and leaned out.
Do you see a person that shot Mark Anthony Saldivar in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please point to him?
He's wearing a white shirt.
Now, when you all were at that stoplight at McCullough and 410, prior to that, did you have any knowledge of Taylor's intentions to take Mark's belongings at gunpoint?
No, ma'am. He was robbing him.
And that's at the stoplight?
Yes.
They went through Saldivar's backpack, but were disappointed by what they found.
When you get to the Mexican restaurant, what happens?
I parked the vehicle, and then they started getting out of the vehicle, and then I got out of the vehicle, and they were going through the backpack, and then also going through his wallet, throwing things out.
Do you know if there was anything inside of the wallet?
He had got upset because there was only $10.
And the details only get colder.
Can you please describe to the jury the demeanor of Taylor McIntyre and Jalen Bell at the Mexican restaurant?
They were kind of going back and forth, and then Jalen applauded him and gave him a high five. They high-fived each other, and Jalen said he caught your first body.
But back in 2017, Reyes didn't run to the police. She says she stayed silent because Tay-K threatened to kill her and her family if she spoke up. So she stayed quiet until she had no choice but to tell the truth. Now, Reyes is only testifying as part of a plea deal. She admitted to tampering with evidence, and in exchange for her cooperation, she's looking at probation instead of prison. However, if she breaks the deal, she could face up to 10 years and a $10,000 fine. Meanwhile, Tay-K is already doing 55 years for a 2016 home invasion murder. And if the jury sides with the state, this one could be the final nail, because if convicted for capital murder, that's life.